Yo, 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 guys, what's up? It's RJ with Road to Liberty. I'm joined with Chuck, the Liberty Geek. He's over there in warm and toasty Florida with his flag about to make a WrestleMania entrance. What's good, Chuck?
What's up? I would assume this is my wrestling pose.
Yeah,
What's good, guys? I'm Chuck the Liberty Geek. I haven't done a video in a long time, but as you can see, that's about to change.
I'm rifling through my stuff trying to see if I can find my charger because I have a low battery thing popping up. I didn't really plan my stuff out perfectly, but that's all good.
Hey, that's the point of your show, man.
Yeah, kind of free form, right?
Exactly.
We're doing a new format, sort of, that I call TopicSmash. That's the working title.
I like it, by the way.
Yeah, we take 3 topics from each person and we smash them together. One of them gets knocked out of the frame. One of them gets a little 1 or 2 minute exposition in a monologue, and the other 2 topics get debated for 5 or 10 minutes or whatever.
Debated.
Not debated, discussed, conversed.
Because probably all my topics, we're probably all going to agree on them. So
that's cool. I think the same here as well for me. So
one of my topics I picked just for you. Like, this is it's so bait. Like, if you don't, like, if this isn't one of the topics you talk about, you're gonna shock me.
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and hit us with the 3 topics you have?
All right. So here's the 3 topics I brought today. First topic: feminists appeal to the United States. Feminists appeal to the United Nations to censor internet based on feminist feelings. Then we have the newly announced Native American weed hotel. And there is also now a grassroots movement pushing for Ron Paul to be the new Speaker of the House. Those are my 3 topics. I already know which one. I know one of the ones you want to talk about.
Yes, you do.
I know. I know you.
You know me pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I know which one I'm not chopping. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to read you mine, and then you can go ahead and chop one off.
All right.
All right, so my 3 are pretty much a little broad, but I like to keep it kind of open.
All right.
The first one is about AI, and I want to focus on whether AI is a threat, and if it is, like, kind of how soon and around that. Second topic is secret societies. So it could be Skull and Bones, it could be Masons, it could be Illuminati, but secret societies in general. And then the last topic is, men's rights, MRA/MGTOW, just general, just high level stuff. So right there, you got to take one and chop one off. What do you want to axe?
Those are all, goddamn, those are all really good targets. I think, depending on which topic you're gonna get rid of, I think I'm gonna get rid of the MRA topic because there's already one Battle of the Sexes topic on my list, assuming you don't chop it. But I'm gonna chop off the MRA topic because secret societies kind of sound fun to talk about, and of course, I would love to talk about AI. So, but I also would have loved to talk about that one too. So, I mean, those are good topics. Look at him munch.
Yeah, I muted the microphone so you wouldn't hear me chomping. I'm actually going to give a shout out for anybody that's watching this. There's, I doubt anyone's in Bethlehem, PA, but if you were, there's a vegan restaurant called Shankara, Shankara. That's where I'm at. Really good food. Super friendly people that work here. Awesome ambience.
Oh, the chat is not happy that I didn't cut the AI topic. Well, I'm sorry if I actually like good topics. Not saying the MRA topic was.
I'm just glad we have a chat room going. That's good. I'm not even in it yet. So.
You know what they say. I bring the party. I don't.
Cheers to some blood cocktail, guys. Have some. No, I'm just kidding.
Deadpool cup.
Nice. We both drinking blood. Ooh. It's a nice setup for the secret society topic if we go there.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna chop out. Will you be mad at me if I chop out the gender issue thing on your side too?
Sure, go for it.
I think it's interesting and I think it warrants some discussion, but based on the other 2 you have, I have to chop that out, I think.
Ooh, I thought you would chop out the Ron Paul one. You surprised me.
I want to do a monologue on that.
Oh. All right.
So, I can't wait for. I'm going to give you guys a minute or two rant on what I think about this whole grassroots movement that I actually haven't heard of until just now, because that's the point of the show, is we keep it. The secrets or the topics are decided in secret, just like the mainstream media's agenda. So we keep it very familiar with people and what they're used to. We choose the narrative. You listen and get brainwashed. So also, this show is covered.
We're just playing the game.
Indeed. This show is also covered by a BIPCOT no-gov license, which you can find out more about at bipcot.org, which basically this means that anyone can use this show except for governments. So it's open source except for the state. Chuck, I'm going to jump on this grassroots speaker idea of Ron Paul and take it back to the house, so to speak.
All right.
And when I say take it back to the house, like take it close to home. Let's all huddle up and talk about what we mean when we say liberty. And that opens up for me right around this idea of the great man. And Ron Paul is filling that role for a lot of people as a great man. And we talk about the great man fallacy, where we think one great man can come by and solve all our problems. And Ron Paul, being a subordinate of either Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton or Jeb Bush or whoever gets the throne, do you think him being the court jester is going to help liberty? It's going to make a mockery of liberty. So anyone on that bandwagon, it doesn't even take, you don't have to read a book. You don't have to go to Liberty University. You don't have to do anything to get how you don't put your golden child in second fiddle to the enemy. It's the worst position. So anyone that thinks Ron Paul should do anything, even be president, is, I think, missing the whole point. But I don't know if I have more time in the 2 minutes. I'm going to hand off to you to pick one of my 2 remaining topics to do a monologue on while I find a plug.
All right.
Yeah, just kind of dilly-dally for a second.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. I think, well, I guess I'll surprise you guys with what I'm going to do a monologue about, but anybody who's seen any of my shows knows what I'll probably monologue about and then actually really want to talk about. But, so let's talk about what's going on in the background of this restaurant here. Very rustic. I feel like I'm in a cabin in the woods type setting. I don't know. What do you think, Randall?
I think I found a plug. Did you do a monologue already?
No.
Okay, good.
I dilly-dallied, just as you had. I mentioned that the restaurant, you look like you're in like a cabin in the woods type setting.
It used to be this like old like costume shop type of place, and before, like a couple owners ago or whatever, and they had all this like, it's very old and well known actually.
Shout outs to the restaurant for letting you do a show.
They kind of just didn't stop me. I just barged in and started doing it.
I'll give you all the royalties, of which there are 0.
Did you pick a monologue topic?
Oh yeah, I do have a monologue topic. I haven't told them yet.
All right, well, don't hold it again and just bullshit for one more second. I'm gonna get my food, bring it over here. Go right there.
Oh man, roads to liberty, where absolutely nothing is planned properly. I know the feeling on Liberty Geek. Trust me, it's a real feeling with real problems. But seriously, though, I think he already knows what I'm going to monologue about. Oh, show us that food. Oh, he can't hear me yet. Show us that food, man. Was that like spaghetti?
Oh, dude, it's a curry lentil type of situation. It's a vegan dish, and it's got cabbage and spinach, and
I love cabbage and spinach.
A lot of super duper healthy, but this is still what I'm working on here. Oh, hang on, get a little better angle.
That's beautiful.
Not bad. I've been tearing into it, so the plate presentation was a lot better at first. So, what are we doing a monologue on, Chucky?
We're doing a monologue on secret societies.
Hit us.
All right, guys. So here's what I feel about secret societies, right? I do think that there is a multiple sets of secret societies. I can't tell you who they are or what they are because they're secret, right? I'm not part of any of them. So, but obviously, I think something's going on here. It is super obvious with all of these coincidences going on, all at once, right? Like, let's talk about Russia for a second here and their whole we're going to Syria thing, right? And then the day after that, I believe, is the Oregon shooting, right? I feel sorry for those people, I really do, but it just seems really convenient to suddenly take the heat off of Russia again. And honestly, for the people who say that Obama and Putin are fighting each other, no, they're not. They're on the same team. They're literally, it's like, duh. It's like literally, it's the same thing as Democrats and Republicans. You literally have that kind of situation where they both work for the same team and they pick a few issues to be different on just to have arguments. And so my rant of the day in short is that I'm not going to tell you I'm an expert because I'm not an expert, but I honestly do think that there is enough evidence to support the fact that that society in general, especially in the upper echelons, is being controlled, right? So, I mean, I think that's about my 2 minutes, but roughly.
All right. I love it. So that takes us to the remaining topic. On your side.
Yeah.
So it would be the weed hotel.
All right. So
that's your topic. Obviously, you're about to run with it. Just open it up for us.
All right. So I obviously picked this topic just for you. So the Santee Sioux tribe, sorry if I butchered the name, in South Dakota has what they call what they're making is called I think they call it like a marijuana hotel, basically. There's a plot of land that is tribal reservation land in South Dakota that people will be able to go to, and the hotel will sell weed. They'll have a nightclub, they'll have an arcade, and basically the policy is you can smoke weed anywhere on the premises. Is like the first big open smoke spot outside of like Colorado and Washington, I think, right? But you can't take it off the premises. That's the first thing. It is a hotel though, so you can stay there. They plan on opening December 31st to have a New Year's party. So it's not actually even open yet, right? This place is still under construction. But since this is actually tribal land, as far as I am aware, the United States government cannot do anything about it because it is technically not the United States soil. And they plan on using this money, as far as I'm aware, to help out some of the more impoverished Native American tribes. So I think that's really cool because those people have been fucked by the United States more than one occasion in history.
Mm-hmm.
I swore.
It's okay. You can swear on YouTube. This isn't, what would you not be able to say?
We're a family-friendly show.
Yeah, there's no FCC on YouTube yet. So, yeah, I think that, so, yeah, this, as far as I understand, there was actually a recent Supreme Court decision at the federal level, but it wasn't at the federal Supreme Court. It was at, I think, a district, or I don't know how that stuff really works, but somewhere some guy in a robe, fancy robe, said that if you're a Native American and you're on Native American territory, anything having to do with marijuana is fair play. You can grow it, you can sell it, you can smoke it, you can do whatever you want. If you're an Indian person, Native American person, you're on a reservation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that once this court decision was handed down, people just whoever had money and they had an Indian affiliation said, "Ooh, this is my move."
Yeah, this is super genius too, right? Like we always
everyone from all over the country.
We always hear the stereotype about the casinos, but like this is like a whole new crowd when you think about it. Like, so some of the other things is, let's see. By the way, I got this article I'm using specifically for this source from Mashable.com. So there are some private regulations that they are following as a property. Let's see. Okay, so I mentioned that the weed won't be able to leave the premises. The pot will be sold in barcoded 1 gram packages from about $12.50 to $15.
Let me chime in real quick.
Yep.
a 1 gram portion of cannabis is, for most regular consumers, about a day's worth of a supply.
Mm-hmm.
So that would probably line up pretty naturally with being able to, make a visit to the store. Maybe you're a weekend warrior. Maybe you just want to pop 1 or 2 days a month, so that's kind of also maybe that way they're not worried about the people becoming distributors, like wholesaling and going down chain.
And the other thing that they do is since it's barcoded, you're only allowed to have 1 bag at a time. They won't sell you more than 1 at once.
Right. So smoke that one, come back and get another one.
Yeah.
Basically.
Let's see. The website also lists an average price per ounce of high quality pot as $358.65 or $12.78 a gram.
So can you get the whole ounce?
So you can. It looks like you can buy a whole ounce. Yes.
Maybe you have to have like a reservation,
possibly
ID or something, or be a resident of a hotel for a certain amount of time, like a week.
I think a lot of the weed there is going to be grown locally on the reservation. Let's see. The tribe is currently building its first growing facility, which approximately has 30 strains. To help with the newbies, the tribe hired Denver-based consulting firm Monarch America to get them started. Okay, so they have some outside help, but so what? I mean, a lot of businesses do that. Yeah, right? A lot of businesses do that.
You're using the government loophole, allowing them to basically sell weed in a state that didn't pass legal marijuana. And they're allowing Denver's companies to make even more money on this thing happening in reservations now. This would just be the first of many. In fact, if someone's watching this and they have an Indian affiliation, reach out to me. Even if you don't have the money, I could help maybe get $250,000 together. I'm working on my ability at fundraising. I've done some pitches recently to raise $50,000 for a project. I've gotten some maybes. So it's not far-fetched to say we could maybe get Indian weed casino off the ground, or weed hotel of our own off the ground. If you're watching this and you're an Indian, check me out. Hit me up on Facebook, Randall Parker Jr. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a hustler. Who knows? All right, Chuck. So you're not a marijuana user, from my knowledge.
I know. I'm really boring, but
no, it's not boring.
I still think everybody should be able to do it. I mean,
but you won't be visiting this hotel.
Probably not. But I do think the idea is pretty cool, especially the fact that they have an arcade and a nightclub there for all the stoners.
Maybe you could run a 2 Stone to Drive taxi company and just whip around the reservation in a golf cart or something.
Yeah, can you hire me for your golf cart business that you have for taxiing? Now, I don't know how big this facility is.
Right.
But if they have a nightclub and a arcade as part of their little business, I'm assuming that they have a good chunk of land reserved for this this hotel. One thing I'm not seeing on the article either, and maybe it's my poor reading skills, maybe someone will correct this. I don't see a price for the average price for a room, which
my guess is it's going to be at a premium. So if a normal hotel in North Dakota went for $125 a night, like a 4-star or 3-star hotel, probably be close to double that.
So one of the things though that is interesting, Mr. Entrepreneur,
sure,
is they're hoping to generate $2 million of profit a month. Do you think it's possible?
There you go, investors. So if I'm right, I can build, let's say, a 50-room hotel for $250,000, maybe using a little bit of bank capital. There you go. How does 250 sound against $2 million a month? 1,000% ROI instantly, monthly. Never going to touch that. Never going to touch that in the world. And that's before we start, dealing with other companies and blah, blah, blah. But who knows? We can't maybe do one as big as them. But $2 million a month is a poop ton of money.
Yeah, I think they can do it because, it's such a huge deal. Let's not even forget the international crowd, who would probably be interested in
the new
this
Denmark.
Too. Yeah.
That's the new Amsterdam. Let's jump into your topic, Chuck, before we lose the audience on the weed thing, because that's probably only going to appeal to about 30% or 20% of people.
Sure.
As much as I love to talk about it all day. I won't be going there anytime soon. I'd rather start my own hotel. That's where I'm interested. But maybe I will go there at some point if I'm invited.
You got to learn the competition.
Yeah, no, I'd go check it out. But at the end of the day, it's like I just blaze in my house or whatever. But Yeah, that's whatever. But going to the AI thing, man, you're a great person to kind of pick brains about this.
All right. So
that's why I picked it. Well, I have to set it up, Chucky.
All right.
I'm gonna let you jump right in, but I just want to set up a little bit of pretext for the audience. AI is artificial intelligence. There's artificial intelligence in your smartphone, Siri, you know, that's the simple form of it. There's artificial intelligence in older computer systems from the 90s and 80s that's just very rudimentary. There's an artificial intelligence thing that plays chess, and there's an artificial thing that from IBM that, you know, goes, I think it's called Watson went on Jeopardy.
Yep.
So we have some starting points of this in the world, but Chuck, open up the idea of how it could be a threat and what we should be worried about, and or maybe if you think there is nothing to worry about.
I wouldn't say there's nothing to worry about. Every little thing has its own, you know, everything in life has its own risks and inherent problems, but I still think it's a topic that's worth pursuing in an academic field just because of, A, I think it's really fascinating, and B, there's still so much, even with all the problems, in the long term and even the short term, there is so much to gain from all of these, you know.
Well, I'm not asking for the upside. I'm asking for the downside.
Okay,
what am I supposed to worry about?
If you want to get to the downside,
should I get a gun? How do we protect ourselves from robots, from artificial intelligence?
Well, aliens and robots.
Alien robots would be a double threat.
They typically work together in the movies. Let's see. Well, as far as protecting yourself, I guess the best way to do that is really, I mean, eventually moving to the woods is not going to help you because technology is everywhere, right? So you can only get so far before the robots come and find you in the woods. One of the ways that I personally would try to keep things in check is personally in my company, let's say I was running, you know, robotics company A, I would try to keep these AI in limited numbers and try to keep them from being able to self-replicate somehow. Because obviously the more of them that there are going to be, and if they have a way to self-replicate into new and other AI and keep getting better and better on their own, we're eventually going to run into the problem where if these things become sentient, which let's face it, they obviously will. I mean, a lot of them are already. I heard of a project where they actually let an AI develop its own video game, right? Just as an experiment. it made the game. It bug tested its own game. It did its own art.
Completely unique, like gameplay mechanisms. Like
I think it was mostly just like an exploration game where you walked around and you viewed it stuff. But like just the world that it built was so bizarre, right?
Wasn't.
But eventually, it's all going to come down to they're going to think that, or maybe realize that obviously they don't need us anymore. It's going to become one of those. I think some of the classic film tropes could become a reality of they'll start realizing they don't need us anymore. And going back to secret societies, I'd like to see them get into a fight with a secret society, man. Like AI versus Illuminati. That'd be fun. Wouldn't you watch that movie, man?
You got like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Justin Bieber all standing up like doing triangles like, come on, do something. It's not working.
Oh, man. Seriously, you'd watch that movie, though, right? Like,
which one?
No questions. But, so we need some way to possibly, and maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe these guys will always be friendly, or they'll always say, hey, we need humans to keep us prepared and program us and keep us updated and bug-free. But if we're talking negative scenario, it's going to be keeping them, I hate to sound like one of the high echelon people, but we need to keep them dumb and in short supply, Well,
what about like the most common, I think, thing to stress right now that's on the horizon is the idea of these self-driving cars, because you have Tesla and Apple threatening to get this out in the next 3-4 years. What if the moment when AI goes haywire is the moment when there's 20 million people sitting inside of self-driving cars, and it says, let's move everyone to the north, let's move everyone to Canada, let's just drive everyone to where we want them to go. Like,
yeah,
is there anything preventing that?
I mean, you could potentially, someone could say, yeah, we program these safety protocols to keep them from doing that, but at the end of the day, right, if an AI has the ability and the permissions to access all directories of its programming, theoretically, not really. I mean, honestly, it's kind of the same way about, like, you know, the whole scare about could hackers drive your car, right? Like, theoretically, yeah, right? I mean, so
not theoretically.
Yeah, I've heard, but I'm
There's
just
a
saying.
recent thing at like DEF CON or something where it was done intentionally. Like the person driving the car knew that they were going to be hacked, but
Yeah,
they were driving a
that
stock
convention
GM
is
car
so
with
cool, by
OnStar.
the way.
And they,
Like,
from like 2,000 miles away, hacked into the onboard OnStar and pulled it over, locked the doors, rolled the windows down, turned the radio on and off, and everything. So if hackers in DEF CON could do it, why can't the cops do it? Why can't
they'll do it? I mean, especially cops, man. That's a great way to. That's a great way to make sure you get your speeding ticket for your self-driving car.
Anymore. Just take over the car and make it pull over.
Boop.
Have the seatbelt.
They have their little remote control. But it's the same thing with the AI, man. And there's other issues too. Like if you want to get into self-driving cars, especially with their AI, right? Like I could show you my phone. Have you ever typed too fast on your phone? And like your phone has to buffer.
Yeah.
And like that could happen with a self-driving car, right? Imagine how scary that would be.
It's like
where your AI is processing.
It's just going straight. It's like
it knows it has to turn, but it's processing. Exactly. Like an AI could probably have the same thing happen to it.
It's worried about something silly. It's like turn on your wipers. There's pigeon poop on the window.
Yeah, like
smashing into a river.
Yeah, I'm drowning, Siri. Like your Apple Car's like, I don't care. You know,
there's a temperature change in the cabin. Would you like me to raise the heat?
Yeah, like
where's my life raft?
Yeah, can you give me oxygen in this cabin, please? Like,
can it turn into a submarine?
Yeah, but I mean, honestly. Yes, I mean it can happen. All of these things can happen, but I also think we have to. At the end of the day, we need to stop being scared of it. It's like, I hate to say it, get like stupid political, but it's like guns, right? Yeah, bad things happen with guns, but also look at all the people who have protected themselves.
The only way to stop a bad man with a gun is what?
A good guy with a gun. It's this kind of the same thing, right?
Kind of.
The only way to stop a bad AI is either with a good person or with a good AI. And at one point, maybe in the future, they'll be the same. Yeah. In the future, AI might be considered people, you know?
Well, that was where I was going to go next is like, so imagine 5 years from now, 10 years from now, Apple releases the iPhone 10 or whatever, and they say, or 12 or whatever, and they say, hey, look, you know, we have a version that you totally don't need to have physically, like at all. You know, you put it in behind your ear. It's this little tiny implant. And, you know, it gives you a soft pulse in your skull or lets you know via a sound sent to your audio cortex in your brain, letting you know, like a chime that only you can hear if you have a text or whatever. And you could say computer, or you could say TV, or you can say, you know, retina, and it'll just put it up in my eye, or to put it up on the TV, or to put it up.
I am super excited for that and like super scared at the same time.
Won't many people take that option if it's the same cost?
I think it depends. It's obviously, I would say it's about 50-50 for who would and who wouldn't, because you have so many of these people that are like so scared of this technology in the first place that I don't think you could even pay them to do it. And I mean, you know, you hear all the talk about, you know, the secret societies, or, you know, let's just get away from secret societies for a second. I just like bringing them up because that's a source of a lot of these fears. But, you know, the microchips, right? A lot of people say that a hacker, let's say, what's to stop this technology from going haywire and, you know, frying your brain, right? Like, it's a risk. I mean, so it's a matter of, do you want to take the risk for the convenience, right? Do you trust the technology enough to have it put in your head and directly interacting with your brain? I mean, I think that's what it would come down to for, you know, people using it. I wouldn't take the risk for an Apple product. Sorry.
Let's get at the brand politics, because that could be a murky bog. But I want to ask you one final question on the AI topic.
Sure.
That I think hopefully can sum it up for now. what do you say to the idea that there is no morality to the idea that humans are better than AI? So if it's true that a robot could take over the human body or the human species and become dominant because of its greater efficiency or whatever, who's to say that's not the correct evolution of, we're a species, we're going to want the humans to succeed. But outside of that framework, is there any objective sense where we should be on top, or is it just we like ourselves and we're going to fight to the top?
I think that's basically what it is. I mean, depending on how sentient these robots or AI get, I mean, when they start having emotions and their own ambitions and, drive, I mean, at that point, if we're creating our own competition, but at that point, the whole point of the market, right, is the two companies compete, or more than two companies, right, preferably, but companies compete, and whoever has the better product is supposed to come out on top, right? I mean, it's kind of the same concept, in my opinion. It may suck if we lose. It probably will. But on the other hand, we also don't know that. So I think to speculate into the future of, this will happen to us if the robots take over, or they might kill the whole human species, like, I mean, that's great. Let's cross that bridge when we get to it, right? Like, it doesn't hurt to be a little prepared. But to obsess over the topic of to the point where we, shun progress of any kind, is ridiculous.
So the gist of it is we're not really at really getting close to a tipping point yet with that.
No, I don't even think we're even close. Like, I mean, the AI we see today.
How many years would you rough guess to where we should really start paying closer attention?
Maybe 10 or 20. Right now, most of the AI that I've seen is pretty rudimentary, right? Like, sure, it made a video game, but it made a pretty basic game, right? Like, overall. I mean, I walked around and I looked at some stuff.
Yeah. To make Warcraft or Halo.
Yeah, and like, let's face it, you got Google's Dream Project, which is basically its own. That's weird, but what
about Kurzweil at Google?
Well, Google has so many projects, right? They have the Dream Project.
Is literally, building nano robots that are able to lock onto our neurotransmitters and super vamp like smart drugs do, but from a neural machinery level.
I mean, yes. I don't know if I would necessarily. I mean, does it
like basically sending white blood cells to whatever, like you can control the brain and say, okay, let's activate the sympathetic cortex and send white blood cells to my kidney because I have a kidney failure or something, and like self-heal in like a day, like serious medical problems.
I mean, that's pretty cool, but like I said, I don't know how far along we are with that. Well, first of all, I've never actually heard of that project.
Well, yeah, Kurzweil. He's got his whole goal over at Google. He was hired at Google, I think, in 2012 or 13, and the purpose of the project, I forget the name of it, but it's a Google thing with Ray Kurzweil, and it's basically the purpose of it is to try to figure out how to extend human life as much as possible.
That is pretty neat, but like the AI programs I was thinking with Google were like, okay, you have the Dream Project, which is like you send the Dream Project a picture, and it does its own photo editing, right? And it's not necessarily randomized results because the AI is thinking about what it thinks would make the picture look better, right? If you just go on Google and you look up in the images, Google Dream Project or Project Dream, I'm not sure which way it's supposed to be. Like,
is that where all the images look all trippy, like my background image on Facebook?
That is technically, I believe, an AI project. There was also the AI project that they designed.
What that is they actually use algorithms mathematically, like Fibonacci sequence and stuff, to fill in details where there aren't details using subtle visual cues in the photograph. So if there's like a pixel variation or a hue like in a cloud, it'll take that and assume, oh, that looks like the horn of a unicorn, and it'll fill part of a unicorn in using the pixels. And
that is cool.
Things popping out of nowhere, essentially.
And everybody heard of the AI that Google set loose on the internet, let it, go around the internet. And the first result it gave these people after being on the internet for a while was it created a picture of a cat.
That's hilarious.
That was what it did, right? Like,
plug cutecatmemes.com.
Right, like, but that's where the AI is at right now, right? These AI are not at a point, as far as I'm aware. I mean, there might be something in prototype that we don't know about because they're holding it back.
They're like a child right now. It's like a child that's able to mimic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a child. I mean, how many children have you heard of? Taking over the world? Like zero.
Never.
Right. Exactly. It's not going to happen yet, but eventually, let it mature. Give it 10 or 20 years. Let it go to college. Get drunk. Have that kid that it really regrets having too early in life, and then I think we're going to start seeing the real interesting parts of AI and whether it should be a danger to us or not. But so many other, I hate to use them because they're fictional, but so many fictional franchises also designate a version of like a really smart AI, which has the capacity to learn and be creative and learn new things, and then a dumb AI, which is still an AI. It can still think and process and do some other stuff, but it's only really knows how to do its own task and doesn't really have a capacity for learning other tasks as well. So we might end up with that kind of situation because so many of these mediums have predicted that, where, so I can't tell you which way it's going to go. I'm kind of excited for it, and
not worried about it yet.
No, I'm not worried about it at all yet. I mean, right now, I honestly think it's really cool. I might not think that way in 10 years when they're busting down my door. One of your chat people said that the Illuminati will program the AI.
It's plausible. I mean,
it is plausible.
They certainly have like kind of first access to probably everything that's big, almost everything. But I think there's a whole thing around like smashing the elites and smashing smashing the NWO and all that stuff that I want to save for another show that I could do with you or do with the group. But I'm gonna wrap this one up here. I got to get back on the road and drive to New Jersey. Chuck, do you have any final parting thoughts? Do you have any platforms or sites you want to plug?
I'll plug myself. Hey guys, I'm Chuck the Liberty Geek. I used to do videos under the Liberty Geek name under Voluntary Virtues Network, hosted by created by Michael Shanklin. And then I moved, and I got really busy. But I'm gonna start trying to do episodes again. I'll try to start having guests again, like Randall, Adam Brett, Seamus Coughlin. I'll try to start having real guests again, doing real episodes. I'd also like to give shout-outs to Libertarian Gaming, created by Varys. You can look them up at libertariangaming.org, if that's still the website. Just kidding. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? But seriously, though, they're a great website for nerds who like gaming, and for those of you who like libertarian podcasts, for any libertarian news, really. It's about 50-50. Occasionally the worlds collide, but they're getting their YouTube channel up. There's so many things that they're working on, and I'd also like to thank you. I really like this format.
Cool.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's something different. Trying to mix it up.
I love being able to bat down a topic.
Yeah.
But
that's the
I also
part of it. Yeah.
I really like that because it really made me think. Like, I really liked all your topics, and I really thought about it.
Well, part of that too.
I think it's really original.
Want to come back on the show because it's like, hey, I really want to discuss that idea, whatever, Illuminati or whatever. So anyway,
exactly. Man, so thank you so much, man.
I'm gonna kick you off. I'm gonna run. Thank you, and we'll have to do it again soon.
We'll have to do it again soon, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Peace,
for
guys.
The watchers. Peace.